Alright, so short video. Right now, you notice when we're walking around our scene, our character is always running, right? So when you did WASD, by default in this template, this third person blueprint template, we have constant running. Now we got the crouch working, so we can go, we can sneak around, but we don't want the character to be always running, right? You want it to say maybe later on we'll add a stamina like a shift. So we're gonna right now we'll assign it so it has a walking speed and a running speed. So you have to hold shift to sprint, and then maybe in the future we will add like a stamina health bar so you can't sprint all the time as well. But at this point, let's add walking, the ability to walk, and also the ability to sprint by holding shift. So what we're going to do is go to our first third person blueprints folder, and we want to create an action. So let's go into our inputs and we want to create an action. I'm going to copy one of these, Control C, Control V, and rename this to sprint. Sprint. All right. Now I forgot to add this in the walk-in and the sprint ability. I mean, we've done the crouch, we've done the flashlight, we've done the interaction, but we haven't done the sprinting and toggle between sprint and walk. So we'll call this sprint. You can call this run if you want, entirely up to you. So we create this action. Now we're going to our inputs and we're going to assign a key. So go to mapping and then we're going to say IA underscore sprint. And we're going to assign a key, which will be, for me, the left shift. Like a lot of games use the left shift, entirely up to you. Hit save. So now that we can call this by pressing left shift and we can use this event. Okay. So now let's go into our third person blueprint. Let's open this up. All right. So in the character movement, where we did remember the crouch speed, that was a crouch speed, and we set that. There's also a max walk speed. So by default, you can see hit. So this is the where we set. Remember the crouch speed. But now we want to change this one. We want to control the max walk speed. So if I was to set this to say 250 and say, okay, this is the walk speed I want, just this save, you'll notice automatically the character walk speed, it'll feel better for a horror game. You know, you want to be walking around a scary house, like a creepy house. You don't want to be sprinting. So now this here feels like a reasonable walk speed. So you can see our shadow um, and the speed that we're moving now, which is fair. I think that's much better speed. And then if we hit crouch, we can also go at a nice speed and nice movement, which is better than sprinting all the time. So let's set that default value to say the walking speed there to 250. Okay, next what we want to do is change the, let's go back to our blueprint. We want to say, if we press shift, we need to say, if we press shift, we want to set this. We need to set those values. So we need it to change between 250 and say 500, our max sprinting value. You may want to bring that sprinting value down, up. It depends on how fast you want to travel on that walking speed. So we need to create a variable. So we need to say, is sprint question mark, are we sprinting? And we need to create two functions, right? Sprinting, and we'll just say not sprinting, which was when you release the shift, right? Or not sprinting. So let's start with the sprinting. So what we're going to say is we need to set this. So get a set, set. We want to set is sprinting, all right, and we want to set the speed movement, the walk speed movement. So we're going to say character movement, and then we're going to say set max walk speed, and here I'm going to type in 500. So if we're holding shift, we're gonna set the speed to 500, right? So I'm gonna compile, save. All right. And then on the not sprinting, we'll do the same, but this will be set to 250 for when we're not holding shift, right? So again, we're gonna set, we're gonna not check this time. All right, so when it's not checked, and then we're gonna get the character movement again. Again, set max walk speed, and then link this here, set this to 250, which was our default walk speed setting, and we decided to go with. Now, if you wanted to go for something like 200 or whatever it is, you can change those values, but also make sure you update that value in the actual here in the walk speed. So if you type in walk, so whatever your walk speed start is, make sure you do that, because when you start the scene, it will, if that was set to 500, it will ignore this at the when you first start the scene. It will ignore that and it will go to like 500. Then when you press shift, then it will go to the between the 250 and the 500. So just make sure that's set to whatever your default walk speed is. And that's it. So now all we have to do is go into our event graph. So the same way we did the IA interaction for crouch or the light, where we used our thing or interaction. So we're going to say IA sprint, if I can spell. Oh, not IS, it's IA, sorry, underscore sprint. There we go. And we open this up. We can now call our function sprinting or not sprinting. So when triggered, so when we hold the shift down, we'll say sprinting. We're sprinting. And when we release, so on complete, we release the key, we're not sprinting. All right. So we call that function not sprinting. So now if I hit compile, save, close this, we hit play, let this play through. So walking around, you can see we're nice walking speed, WASD. I hold shift now, and we can now sprint away from our enemy that's chasing us, or run to the phone and say hello.
It's too late
And now
now.
we can casually walk away. There you go. Or we can crouch. Now you may notice the crouch may seem faster now than the walk, so you may want to slow down the crouch speed, so you go a lot slower than the walking speed, or speed up the walking a tiny bit. But you can play around with those values to what feels better for you and your gameplay. But yeah, so now I can jump and walk, or shift and jump and go further. There you go. So there you go. Anyway, I hope this was useful. In the next video, maybe we'll look at adding some moving platforms. So maybe we'll trigger a lift, or something, so we can, we're not all on one level, so we can start interacting with more of the environment. So character can go into a lift or something, press E, and we go up to the next floor. Or we have automatic moving platforms that you can just step on and step off. Um, to add some variation to the environment. Anyway, see you in the next video. Have a great day, morning, evening, or night. Don't forget, hit that like, share, subscribe, helps me a lot. And bye bye. Enjoy your day again.